outside. I'm gonna go upstairs to get some things, and I'm also gonna get the cooker.
If I was not here,
No, it's upstairs on Kim's desk, so I will be back. He'll be here, and I've asked him to leave the seat here now.
Voted one of the top 10 future cities of the Americas.
It's the second fastest growing city in Canada. Brampton is committed to economic development and is home to more than 8,500 businesses that are powered by a young and highly educated workforce. Brampton has over 158 million consumers within a day's drive in a beautiful setting of over 6,000 acres of parkland. Brampton is where the world comes together.
So, in the economic, if you location-wise, as you can see, one side you have Toronto, it's a triangle, right? Mississauga, Toronto, and Brampton, and an airport is right in the middle there. So it's it's airport is not even in. The important thing is the largest airport of Canada is not in the largest city of Canada. So that says in itself that our economies are so seamless and so borderless that it doesn't matter. And having that outside serves a better purpose to make it a regional economy and deliver those results that we're looking for. And of course, we are connected to the U.S. Through 5 borders in Ontario, and there are billions of dollars of trade that goes on. So our location in this area is very, very strategic for that matter into east-west travel or northwest travel. Of course, this airport is complemented by the 400 series highways. And we were just talking about it. Aleem Kanji, you met already, and he did his master's in economic development, and Dennis was one of his mentors. Dennis Kurajar, my boss, was one of his mentors. He was just talking about it. He did his master's paper on Brampton, and the message that everybody's familiar with, all roads lead to Brampton, that was a billboard outside Toronto Airport for many, many years. He was the one who was part of that initial exercise, that whole concept development, and the intercom company that was hired to do that. So, meaning that, Aleem, who's working here, its integration, that piece is incredible. And in our community, as you know, that higher education, which is our Sheridan Institute of Technology, complements that. It's not a university, but it's an Center of Advanced Manufacturing and Design Technology, which is more applied stuff for that matter. Recently, if you talk to parents and they've grown-up kids, the folks who are getting the jobs out there are getting absorbed in from robotics to animation to 3D printing, all those good stuff that is actually the the new generation, X, Y, Z is over. Now the millennials, which sometimes I think mentally I am, not physically. So those are the folks that are the ones who are going to be driving that. So that is coming from that applied knowledge and education who are driving our economy. So that's why we are proud to have Sheridan in our backyard, for that matter. A figure to remember here that from Brampton, the economy contributes $25 billion US per year to the GDP, which is approximately 10% of the total of the GTA. So because of a lot of advanced manufacturing. So this is nothing to sneeze. That's a very big number that we are very proud of, that this much, how much industry and trade happens. How the population and employment, that takes place, right? So if you look at the year 2016, we are approaching over 620,000 population. And look at the growth, the patterns, the way we have grown. And we're going to reach 900,000 by 2041. It's going to be almost a million, like in Ottawa, and then we are right as a suburb of Toronto attached to. So and the reason that's going to happen, because we are one of the very few 9 of 5 cities that are not totally built yet. So we are only 60% built, 40% is still yet to be built. That's why the growth is going to continue to happen and pass Markhams and Mississaugas of the world quite fast, because there is no more growth left in that area. High density maybe, but not as land. We are the only city that is offering $1 billion of residential permits every year even now because there is land. That's why the building permits are. Otherwise, once that land is taken over, which will be another 15, 20 years, then we get into the high density, high rises and all that. That's a pattern. Just like Toronto went through, houses, land got taken up, now the condos kick in. Mississauga also, land got taken up, now the high rise density kicks in. Brampton is going to be on the same pattern. So right now we are offering building permits in terms of residential community for that matter. Our economic indicators, just some year-end numbers that what we do these numbers at the end of the year to reflect upon what had happened. For the last 10 years, Brampton economy has been creating over 200 new businesses and over 2,000 new jobs almost every year. Now, interestingly enough, these are very, very strong numbers for a medium-sized city in any part of the world, but here, Brampton being the fastest growing city in numbers, in percentage we are number 2 behind Milton, but in numbers 18 to 20,000 new people coming into our city every year, that these numbers don't match up with that. So we'll never catch up to those numbers, but these are numbers, if you put out economy of scales in Canada, are very strong numbers, 200 new businesses and 2,000 new employment, pretty much averaged for the last 10 years. And again, region of Peel, which is Mississauga, Brampton, and Caledon, 8% unemployment for that matter, 7 to 8 right now. We're also running about 7.6 in this year. Total construction, we finished up 2.2 billion last year. Out of that, again, we were ranked in the top 5 or 6 in Canada for that matter. If you look at it, residential 1.6 billion, and institutional was very high because of the Peel Memorial, $400 million for that matter, and that created.
Anything